You've probably heard trees whisper in the wind, but what if I told you they're actually talking underground? Their roots are like a secret network, sending messages across vast distances. These roots don't just anchor trees. They're part of an ancient, living internet. Scientists call it the Wood Wide Web, and it's more complex than you would imagine. These chemical messages can travel up to hundreds of meters, letting trees know where danger is and how to respond. It's like a silent, underground conversation. But how do trees even know what to say? It's not just about survival. It's about cooperation, memory, and a kind of plant intelligence we're only beginning to understand. So what exactly are we talking about? It's not just about trees growing in a forest. It's about a hidden network beneath the soil, a secret language of roots and chemicals that allows them to talk to each other. Imagine a world where trees aren't just standing there, but actually sending messages, warning each other of danger, sharing nutrients, and even helping one another survive. These messages are made of chemicals, like a tree's own version of a neural network, using roots to transmit signals across vast distances, sometimes even between different species. It's like a digital network, but built from nature, where trees can warn their neighbors about pests, drought, or even disease, all through the soil. And it's not just about survival. It's about cooperation. A kind of tree intelligence that's been happening for millennia, in silence, beneath our feet. You might think trees are just silent sentinels, but they're actually part of a vast, ancient network that's keeping your planet alive in ways you never imagined. This underground web isn't just about sharing resources. It's a form of communication, a way for trees to warn each other of danger, even when they're miles apart. When you walk through a forest, you're not just enjoying the beauty of nature. You're standing in the middle of a conversation that's been happening for millennia. Understanding this hidden network changes how we see the world. It's not just about what we see, but what's happening beneath our feet, shaping the health of the entire planet. So next time you feel a connection to nature, remember, you're part of something far greater, a web of life that's silently working to keep our world alive. Let's fast forward to the 1960s, when scientists first noticed that trees could sense each other in the dark. They watched how roots reached out like fingers, not just to drink water, but to whisper secrets across the soil. Then came the 1980s, when researchers discovered that trees could release chemicals into the air to warn their neighbors of danger. It was like a chemical smoke signal in the woods, invisible but powerful. By the 2000s, scientists realized these networks were not just communication lines, but entire ecosystems. Trees were not alone. They were part of a living, breathing web of life. Today, we stand on the edge of a new forest story. One where trees are not just silent, but speaking in ways we're only beginning to understand. Imagine you're in a forest and the trees are talking, not with words, but with secrets in the soil. They send messages through their roots, like a secret underground internet. These messages are chemicals, like invisible ink. Some tell other trees, "Watch out, there's a bug coming," or "I'm happy, come play with me." It's like a forest phone line. Trees can warn each other, share nutrients, and even help each other grow. They're not just standing there, they're working together. Even the smallest sapling can hear the whispers of the old trees. They're all part of one big, living conversation, deep below the ground. Imagine a vast, ancient forest where the ground is more than just soil. It's a living network, a silent highway where trees whisper to one another through the earth. At the heart of this network are the roots, thick, gnarled, and ancient, stretched out like fingers, reaching for water, nutrients, and other trees. But how do these roots actually send messages? It starts with chemical signals, tiny molecules that travel through the soil and into the roots of other trees. These chemical signals are like a language. Some warn of danger, others share nutrients, and some even help trees remember where to grow next. So the first step in this silent conversation is the setup. The roots, the soil, and the invisible chemical highways that make the forest a single, breathing organism. Now, the tree roots send out these chemical signals like a message in a bottle, drifting through the soil like whispers carried by the wind. These chemicals are like a language. Some are warnings, others are invitations, and some are even love notes shared between friends. Some trees can detect these signals and respond in minutes, preparing for an attack or sharing nutrients with a neighbor. This isn't just communication. It's an entire network of collaboration, working below the surface to protect, nourish, and sustain the forest. Now, here's the clever twist. Instead of just sending signals, trees also use chemicals to influence their neighbors. These are not just messages. They're invitations, warnings, or even gifts. Imagine one tree releasing a chemical that tells others, "I'm under attack. Help me." This chemical can be a distress signal, calling in allies to defend the whole forest. But it's not just about defense. Some trees release chemicals to encourage growth in nearby species, creating the kind of botanical teamwork that strengthens the entire ecosystem. These chemical signals are like a silent conversations, one that scientists are only beginning to understand. They're not just survival tactics. They're a form of communication that reshapes how we see the forest. In the end, it's not just about individual trees. It's about the network, the invisible web of life that connects them all, root to root, signal to signal, life to life. Beneath our feet, a silent symphony plays. Tree roots, like ancient veins, weave through soil, carrying messages in chemical whispers that only the forest can hear. When one tree is wounded, it sends out distress signals, chemicals that travel through the soil, alerting others to danger before it spreads. This isn't just communication. It's a form of intelligence, a way for trees to collaborate, to share nutrients, and to warn each other of threats. The forest is not a collection of individual trees. It's a single, breathing, thinking organism, sustained by the quiet magic of its underground heart. Imagine if your phone could call your coffee maker and ask it to brew a cup just because you're tired. That's not sci-fi. It's what trees do with their roots. They don't talk with words, but they do send messages through underground wires, roots that act like a network of nerves. Some trees even send out chemicals that act like a kind of smell to signal trouble, like a warning scent in the air. It's a language we can't hear, but it's as real as the air we breathe. Trees aren't just standing there. They're alive, connected, and clever. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end. You've probably heard trees are alive, but did you know they can remember? Deep in the forest, trees store knowledge in ways that defy our understanding, linking generations through an ancient, silent language. Their roots, like veins in a giant body, reach far beyond the soil, sharing nutrients and warnings. It's not just about survival. It's about memory, passed down through time, across the roots of the earth. This isn't just biology. It's a form of communication, a way of storing knowledge in the very fabric of nature. It's like a library, built over centuries, written in the language of roots and resilience. And as we stand here, in the present, we're not just observers. We're part of a continuum, part of a memory that stretches back millennia, waiting to be understood. So what exactly are we talking about? It's not just trees growing and living. It's about how they remember, adapt, and even teach each other across time and space. These trees don't just live in isolation. They're part of a vast interconnected network, like a silent, ancient internet beneath the soil. This network allows trees to share warnings, nutrients, and even genetic information, creating a kind of biological memory that spans generations. It's a living archive, a forest that remembers its past, learns from its history, and passes knowledge down through its roots and branches. This memory isn't just in the trees themselves. It's in the soil, in the fungi, in the air, and in the way the forest itself evolves and adapts over centuries. You might not think trees have a brain, but they have a way of remembering. Every scar, every root, every leaf holds a story of survival, passed down through the soil and the air. These memories shape not just the trees, but the entire forest. When you walk through a forest, you're not just passing through trees. You're walking through a library of ancient knowledge. This knowledge isn't just about growth or survival. It's about communication, adaptation, and resilience. Understanding this network of shared knowledge helps us see the forest not just as a place, but as a living, breathing community. Every tree is both a teacher and a student, learning from the past to shape the future. This is more than just biology. It's a reminder that we're part of something greater, a web of life that has existed long before us and will continue long after. We are not separate from it. We are a part of it. So next time you're in a forest, take a moment to listen, not with your ears, but with your mind. The trees are speaking, and their memory is waiting to be heard. Imagine standing in a forest where time is not a line, but a web. Each tree is a node, holding memories of droughts, storms, and the slow, deliberate passage of seasons. Deep in its roots, beneath the soil, the tree archives every moment. Like a tree storing the history of the world in its rings, each one a year, each ring a story. This isn't just memory, it's communication. Trees don't just remember, they share. Their roots form a vast network, passing warnings and nutrients like a silent underground internet. As we walk through this forest, we're not just seeing trees. We're walking through a living library, where the past is always present and the future is being written now. The forest's memory is not just about survival. It's about adaptation, resilience, and the quiet, continuous exchange of wisdom across time and space. Imagine a tree that remembers. It doesn't just grow, it learns from the ground and shares with its friends. When the ground gets too dry, it sends a message through its roots. The other trees hear it and share their water. Older trees teach the young ones how to grow. They pass down their knowledge through the soil, like a family story. The forest is like a library. Each tree is a book. They all share the same story, written in the soil and passed down through time. Imagine a forest that remembers, not just the trees, but the soil, the roots, the air between them. This is where it all begins. A quiet, ancient setup that sets the stage for the hidden conversation between trees. Beneath the surface, an intricate network of roots and fungi forms a silent, living web. It's not just a system of nourishment, but a vast organic library of genetic and biochemical information. This network is called the Wood Wide Web, a term coined to describe how trees communicate through their underground connections. It's like a neural network for forests, connecting them in ways we're only beginning to understand. In this setup, each tree is both a sender and a receiver. It sends signals through the network, and it also receives warnings, nutrients, and even messages from its relatives. It's a kind of collective intelligence, born from evolution and survival. This setup is the foundation of the forest's memory, a biological archive that allows trees to pass on knowledge, warnings, and even care to future generations. It's the first step in the silent, shared conversation of the forest. Now, imagine the roots of a tree as a vast, hidden network, like a neural web beneath the soil. These roots, often unseen, form a kind of underground internet, connecting trees in a silent, symbiotic conversation. Through this network, trees can send chemical signals, sharing nutrients and even warning others of disease or insect attacks. It's a silent, ancient language passed down through generations. These fungi not only help trees share resources, but also preserve and pass on genetic information, acting as a kind of memory bank for the entire forest. They store the knowledge of how to adapt and survive. In this way, the forest isn't just a collection of trees. It's a living archive, a repository of wisdom that evolves with each generation, shaped by the knowledge stored and shared across the roots. But here's the clever twist. Trees don't just store information. They actively transmit it. Through their roots, they send out chemical signals and nutrients, like a silent message across the forest floor. This isn't random. It's a sophisticated, ancient form of communication. Older trees, often the largest and most established, act as hubs, sharing resources and warnings with younger trees in need. This process is called tree-to-tree communication, and it's a key part of how forests function. It allows the whole community to respond collectively to threats like drought or disease. It's as if the forest is a single living memory, passed down through generations. Each tree carries a part of it, and together, they remember what has worked and what has failed. This is the forest's memory, stored, shared, and passed on. It's not just about survival. It's about learning, adapting, and growing together, generation after generation. Beneath the forest floor, a silent network pulses with life. Mycorrhizal fungi form a vast underground web, linking trees like neurons in a brain, sharing nutrients and messages across generations. This network isn't just a channel for resources. It's a library of survival strategies, passed down through chemical signals, warning trees of pests or drought before they even face them. This communication is slow, deliberate, and ancient. It doesn't require electricity or light. It's a chemical symphony, a silent language older than human memory. The forest isn't just a collection of trees. It's a living archive, a collective consciousness that remembers, adapts, and evolves. Every tree is both a student and a teacher in this silent, shared history. Imagine a library where every book is written in a different language, but they're all connected by a single ancient thread. The trees don't just store knowledge. They pass it along, like a whisper through time. This library is not built by humans, but by trees. Each tree is a volume, and the soil is the network that links them all, carrying messages and chemical whispers and fungal trails. This is not metaphor. It's biology. Trees communicate, remember, and teach. The forest is a collective consciousness, built over centuries, passed down through roots, fungi, and time. So the next time you walk through a forest, remember this. You're not just walking through trees. You're walking through memory, through wisdom, through a story that began long before you were born, and will continue long after you're gone. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end. Did you know trees can talk to each other? Not with words, but with chemicals and vibrations. They send warnings through the air and soil to protect their family. When a tree is attacked by insects or disease, it doesn't just suffer in silence. It releases a chemical signal into the air, like a distress call to its neighbors. This isn't just survival, it's communication. Trees share nutrients, warn each other of danger, and even help their neighbors grow stronger. So the next time you walk through the woods, remember, you're not just seeing trees. You're witnessing an ancient, silent conversation happening all around you. When a tree is attacked, it doesn't just react on its own. It sends out a chemical signal through the air, like a silent alarm that warns its neighbors of danger. These signals are volatile organic compounds, which are released into the atmosphere when a tree is under attack by insects or pathogens. This warning system is not just about chemical signals. It's also about the soil. Roots can exchange nutrients and even send signals underground through the soil itself. This communication between trees is ancient. evolved over millions of years, and plays a crucial role in their survival and the health of entire ecosystems. You might not notice it, but every time you walk through the woods, you're witnessing a silent emergency response system. Trees aren't just standing there. They're communicating in ways that could change how we think about the environment. These signals help forests survive wildfires, insect attacks, and even human activity. Understanding this could lead to smarter conservation and better land management strategies. If we can learn from these ancient networks, we might find new ways to protect ecosystems and even develop sustainable technologies inspired by nature's own warning systems. This isn't just about trees. It's about how life on Earth is interconnected and how we're part of that web, not separate from it. So the next time you're in the woods, remember, you're not just enjoying nature. You're standing in the middle of a silent, ancient conversation that's been happening for thousands of years. Millions of years ago, forests were alive with whispers. Trees didn't just stand alone. They communicated through roots, using chemical signals to warn each other of danger. This underground communication system was the first form of plant intelligence, a silent conversations that helped entire forests survive ancient threats like fire and herbivores. Scientists have uncovered this ancient warning system by studying how trees respond to damage, revealing a complex, plant-based language that evolved over eons. These signals are not just for survival. They're part of a deeper ecological network, where trees share resources, information, and even help each other grow. Understanding this silent alarm system helps us see nature not as a collection of individual trees, but as a living, connected community working together. Imagine your tree friend gets hurt, and it shouts to the others. But not with words. It uses a special secret signal. This secret signal is a kind of smell, made by chemicals. These chemicals fly through the air to warn the other trees. When the trees smell the warning, they get ready. They grow thicker bark and make more leaves to protect themselves. So, even though trees can't talk, they have their own language, and it's super strong. They help each other survive. Before any warning can be sent, trees need to be connected. This is done through an underground network of fungi known as mycorrhizal networks. These fungi form a bridge between tree roots, allowing for communication across vast distances. The fungi act as a kind of nervous system for the forest. They help trees absorb nutrients and water, but also serve as a communication highway. When a tree is under threat, it can send signals through this network to its neighbors. These fungal connections are not just physical, they are also chemical. Trees release specific volatile compounds into the soil, which the fungi then transmit to other trees in the network. The chemical signals are like a distress call. They inform neighboring trees that something is wrong and that they should prepare for potential danger. This is the first step in the tree's warning system. This setup is not just passive. The fungi respond to the signals and relay them efficiently, ensuring that the warning reaches the right trees at the right time. It's a finely tuned, ancient system of cooperation. Once a tree detects a threat, it releases a chemical signal through the soil. This is called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, which are airborne molecules that carry the message. These VOCs travel through the air, carried by wind, and reach neighboring trees. They act like a distress call, alerting them to danger without a single sound. When the neighboring trees receive these signals, they activate their own defenses. Some release chemicals to make their leaves less palatable to insects, while others close their stomata to limit damage. This response is not immediate, but it's effective. It gives the trees time to prepare and can significantly reduce the damage from an attack. This communication system is part of a larger network of trees, sometimes called the Wood Wide Web, where information flows like a silent, ancient language. Once the chemical signal is released, it travels through the air, carried by wind and water, like a whispered warning. This is the first step in a silent, yet powerful communication network. But here's the clever twist. Some trees can even detect these signals through their roots, creating an underground network that allows them to sense threats before they arrive. This subterranean network, often called the Wood Wide Web, acts like a neural system, connecting trees and enabling them to share information and resources. Even trees that are far apart can receive these signals, allowing them to prepare for threats like drought, disease, or insect attacks before they strike. This clever twist of communication is not just a survival strategy, but a testament to the intelligence and cooperation that exists in the natural world. When a tree is attacked, it releases a chemical called volatile organic compounds into the air. These molecules act like a distress signal, traveling through the air to neighboring trees. The neighboring trees detect these airborne chemicals through specialized pores on their leaves called stomata. These pores are like tiny sensory receptors, tuning in to danger. This underground communication system, known as the mycorrhizal network, functions like a natural internet. Fungi act as messengers, relaying warnings between trees across vast distances. These signals are not just warnings, they're a form of long-distance communication. Trees can even differentiate between threats, like herbivores versus drought, and respond accordingly. Imagine your phone is a tree, and your network is a forest. When someone tries to cut you down, your phone sends out a silent alert, and all your connected devices hear it. They react before they even see the danger. This is how trees communicate. They don't shout, they don't call out, but they send out chemical warnings through the air, like a message in a bottle carried by the wind. Even better, they're not just warnings, they're invitations. Trees are not just reacting to danger, they're working together, sharing resources, and building a kind of community across the forest floor. So, the next time you feel like the world is whispering to you, remember, you might be part of a vast, silent, and incredibly smart network, just like a forest. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end. In the shadow of towering trees, a forest hums with life. It's not just a place, it's a community, a complex web of relationships that shape the world around us. Each tree, each animal, and even the soil beneath our feet play a role in this intricate dance. But understanding this requires looking beyond the obvious and into the heart of social behavior in nature. This is the first step in exploring the roots of empathy, not just in humans, but in the silent, ancient societies of the forest. What can they teach us about connection, cooperation, and survival? As we journey deeper into this world, we'll uncover how empathy isn't just a human trait, but a survival strategy that has evolved across species, shaping the ecosystems we call home. So let's step into the forest, not just as observers, but as participants in a story that has been unfolding for millennia. One built on understanding, respect, and the quiet wisdom of the wild. So what exactly are we talking about? Well, when we say forest ecosystems, we're referring to the complex web of life that thrives in forested areas. These are not just trees and soil, they're full of interdependent species, each playing a role in the system. The term social lives might sound like it's about humans, but in the forest, it's about how animals and plants interact with each other. These interactions are crucial for the survival and balance of the entire ecosystem. Empathy, in this context, isn't about emotions. It's about the ways organisms understand and respond to one another. This includes everything from symbiotic relationships to predator-prey dynamics that shape the forest's social structure. By studying these social lives, we can learn how to better protect and manage forests. Understanding the relationships between species helps us predict how ecosystems will respond to changes like climate shifts or human activity. This is the foundation of what we're exploring: the intricate, often invisible social lives of forest ecosystems. These connections are the roots that hold the whole system together. You might think forests are just trees, but they're actually complex social networks where every creature has a role. From fungi to mammals, they're all part of a shared survival strategy. Understanding these social dynamics can help us design better conservation strategies. protect biodiversity, and even improve human community planning. This isn't just about saving trees. It's about preserving the invisible connections that make life resilient and thriving. So, the next time you walk through a forest, remember, you're part of a vast, interconnected society that's been evolving for millennia. By paying attention to these social lives, we can learn to live more harmoniously with the world around us. We start 400 million years ago, in the shadow of ancient reefs, where the first land plants took root. These early pioneers laid the groundwork for a world that would one day teem with life. As the Carboniferous era unfolded, giant trees like lepidodendron formed dense canopies, creating the first true forests. Their towering heights shaped the ecosystems below. By the time dinosaurs roamed, forests had evolved into complex, layered habitats. Each level supported different species, from sunlit understories to shadowy forest floors. The arrival of flowering plants 140 million years ago revolutionized the forest. These new species unlocked new ecological relationships, reshaping how life interacted. Today's forests are the result of billions of years of evolution. Each layer of life a testament to the resilience and adaptability of nature's social networks. Imagine you're in a big, green forest. You're not alone. There are animals, plants, and even the ground beneath your feet, all working together to keep the forest alive. Like a team, every part of the forest has a job. The trees make food, the animals help spread seeds, and the soil gives everything a home. Sometimes the forest helps itself. When a tree falls, it makes space for new ones to grow, and the animals come to eat the fallen wood. The forest is like a big, living conversations. Every part listens, responds, and helps each other stay strong and connected. The first step in understanding these social networks is setting up the right environment. We start by observing a dense, mature forest with a complex canopy structure, where light filters through in dappled patterns. Within this habitat, we focus on specific species that form the foundation of these networks, like the red panda, which relies on the presence of bamboo and the structure of the trees for both food and shelter. We also include key elements like fallen logs and standing dead trees, which serve as microhabitats for fungi, insects, and small mammals that are essential to the ecosystem's health. Camera placement is critical, using long lenses and low angles to capture the subtle interactions between animals without disrupting their natural behavior. Finally, we ensure that the setup allows for continuous observation, which is essential for understanding the dynamic and ever-changing relationships within these social networks. Now, the mechanism begins with the first signal, a subtle chemical cue released by the plant into the soil. This cue acts like a message, alerting nearby roots to the plant's need for nutrients or water. These roots, now aware of the need, adjust their growth patterns to reach the resource. This is a form of chemical communication, where roots literally talk to one another through underground signals. This exchange is not just about nutrients. It's also about defense. When a plant is attacked by pests or disease, it releases volatile organic compounds into the air, alerting neighboring plants to prepare their defenses. This communication network is often referred to as the Wood Wide Web, a term coined by ecologist Dr. Suzanne Simard. It's a living, breathing, interconnected system that supports the entire forest ecosystem. So, the mechanism is not just about survival, but about cooperation. A quiet, underground symphony of life that enables the forest to thrive as a single, adaptive, social organism. Now, here's the clever twist. Some forest animals don't just follow the crowd. They use the group to their advantage, creating a kind of social intelligence that almost like a sixth sense. This behavior isn't random. It's a learned strategy. By observing others, they can spot hidden food, avoid predators, or even find new territories with minimal risk. These animals aren't just reacting. They're strategizing. They use social cues to predict behavior, create alliances, and even outwit competitors in ways that feel almost human. This clever twist shows that social life in the forest isn't just about survival. It's about building a kind of collective intelligence that helps them thrive. Underneath the forest floor, a silent network of communication thrives. Fungi, through their mycelium, exchange nutrients and signals with tree roots, creating an ancient information highway that binds the ecosystem together. This underground web allows trees to share resources, warn each other of insect attacks, and even support younger saplings in times of stress. It's a living, breathing communication system that spans across the entire forest. Above ground, the social lives of trees are equally complex. Some species, like the Douglas fir, can recognize and respond to individual trees, adjusting their growth and resource allocation based on neighbors. This recognition isn't just physical. It's a form of social memory, passed down through generations. It's as if the forest itself is learning, adapting, and even caring for its members in a way that defies our expectations. These interactions are not random. They're the result of millions of years of evolution. The social lives of forest ecosystems are built on cooperation, resilience, and an intricate balance that we're only beginning to understand. Imagine a forest where every tree is a person and every root is a handshake. This isn't metaphor. It's a way to understand how forests communicate through their underground networks. These roots don't just hold the trees in place. They send messages, share nutrients, and even warn of danger. It's like a neural network, but made of biology. This is the forest's version of empathy, an invisible, ancient form of connection that keeps entire ecosystems alive and thriving. So when we think of forests, we're not just seeing trees. We're seeing a network of cooperation, a silent conversation that's been happening for millennia. In the end, the forest teaches us that intelligence isn't just about brains. It's about connection and the quiet power of being part of something bigger. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.